Have you ever dreamt of a place where the sun refuses to go to bed, a land where daylight stretches on forever, painting the sky in soft golden hues at 3 in the morning? This isn't a fantasy, darlings. It's Svalbard in the summer. It's an archipelago floating high above the Arctic Circle, a realm of ice, rock, and astonishing silence. I had always been drawn to the north, to its stark beauty and its promise of true wilderness. Setting foot in Longyearbyen, the main settlement, felt like stepping onto another planet entirely. The air was so crisp it seemed to crackle, and the landscape was a dramatic canvas of pointed mountains and vast empty valleys. The concept of the midnight sun is something one must experience to truly understand. It messes with your internal clock in the most delightful way. You find yourself wide awake at hours you'd normally be fast asleep, simply because the world outside is bathed in this perpetual, gentle light. It's as if time itself has taken a holiday. This endless day gives you a boundless sense of energy and possibility. You can read a book on your balcony at 2 a.m., or simply stand on the deck of your ship, watching the light dance across glaciers that have stood for millennia. It is a profoundly moving and slightly surreal experience that redefines your understanding of night and day. My journey began with a sense of giddy anticipation. I was about to sail into a world governed not by human schedules, but by the rhythms of ice and wildlife. Svalbard is a place of extremes, where nature is firmly in charge. The landscape feels primeval, untouched. There are more polar bears than people here, a fact that sends a little shiver of excitement down your spine. The summer sun, which never sets from late April to late August, unlocks this frozen kingdom. It melts the sea ice just enough for ships to navigate the fjords, revealing scenery that has been locked away all winter. It felt like being given a secret key to a hidden world. As our ship set sail from the small port, I felt a profound sense of leaving the familiar world behind. The last vestiges of ordinary life, the colorful houses of Longyearbyen, the roads, the faint hum of civilization, faded into the distance. Ahead lay nothing but the vast, shimmering expanse of the Arctic Ocean. The sun, a constant companion in the sky, cast long, dramatic shadows from the icebergs floating silently by. It was a promise of adventure, a call to the wild heart that beats within all of us. I knew then that this journey would be more than just a trip. It would be an immersion into one of the last great wildernesses on Earth. There is a unique magic to life on an expedition ship, a magic that reveals itself each morning. You go to sleep in one breathtaking landscape and wake up in another, entirely different and equally spectacular. It is like opening a new present every single day. I would draw back the curtains in my cabin, my heart fluttering with anticipation to be greeted by a vista that simply wasn't there the night before. One morning, it would be a sheer cliff face teeming with thousands of squawking seabirds. The next, a colossal glacier, its face a wall of brilliant blue ice, poised as if ready to tell its ancient stories. This constant sense of discovery is utterly addictive. This daily surprise became the rhythm of my journey. There was no need for an alarm clock. The gentle hum of the ship slowing down, or the sight of a new fjord opening up outside my window, was enough to pull me from my slumber. I remember one morning waking to the sight of a vast, floating carpet of sea ice, stretching as far as the eye could see. The ship was navigating through it so gently, so carefully, it felt as if we were gliding through a dream. Seals were dotted across the ice floes, their dark, curious heads popping up to watch us pass. It was a scene of such peaceful, profound beauty that it brought a tear to my eye. This ever-changing backdrop is the very essence of expedition travel. You are not just a tourist passing through. You are a part of the landscape, moving with it, adapting to it. Each new dawn brings a fresh canvas. Sometimes the view would be stark and minimalist, a collection of jagged black peaks rising from a steel-gray sea under an overcast sky. Other days, the sun would break through and the entire world would sparkle. Icebergs became floating diamonds, and the water turned a shade of sapphire so intense it felt almost unreal. This constant transformation kept my senses on high alert, eager and hungry for whatever the Arctic decided to show me next. Waking up at sea in Svalbard is a lesson in humility and wonder. It reminds you of the sheer scale and power of the natural world. You feel so small, a tiny speck in this immense wilderness, and yet you feel so incredibly alive and connected to it all. The daily surprise of a new horizon is a gift. It strips away the monotony of everyday life and replaces it with a continuous sense of awe. It's a feeling I will carry with me forever, the memory of waking up, pulling back the curtain, and gasping at the sheer unscripted beauty of a world that was brand new, just for that day. Exploring the Arctic from the deck of a ship is one thing, but getting down to water level is where the real adventure begins. This is where the Zodiacs come in. These sturdy, inflatable boats are the workhorses of any polar expedition, allowing you to zip across the water and explore places the mothership cannot reach. Climbing down the gangway and into a Zodiac is always a moment of pure excitement. You are closer to everything. The sound of the water lapping against the hull, the crispness of the air, and the sheer vertical scale of the cliffs and glaciers towering above you. It's an experience that makes you feel less like a spectator and more like a true explorer. On one of our first Zodiac excursions, we navigated through a maze of what are known as bergy bits, small and medium-sized chunks of ice that have broken off from glaciers. Our guide cut the engine, and we floated in absolute silence. All you could hear was the gentle crackle and pop of the ancient air bubbles escaping from the melting ice. It's a sound they call bergy seltzer, and it's the sound of time itself being released. We reached out and touched the ice, its surface impossibly smooth and shockingly cold. It felt like touching history, a piece of a glacier that had been formed thousands of years ago. For those seeking an even more intimate connection with this frozen world, there is nothing quite like kayaking. Paddling your own vessel through the calm, icy waters of a sheltered bay is a meditative and profoundly moving experience. You move silently, propelled only by your own strength, becoming one with your surroundings. I remember kayaking in a fjord where the water was so still it created a perfect mirror image of the snow-dusted mountains around us. It felt as if we were paddling between two skies. The silence was broken only by the dip of our paddles, and the distant cry of an Arctic tern. These activities are not just for thrill seekers, they are a way of understanding the Arctic on a deeper, more personal level. When you are in a Zodiac, you can get close enough to a cliff to see the intricate nests of kittiwakes tucked into impossible ledges. In a kayak you might have a curious seal pop its head up just a few feet away, its large, dark eyes observing you with gentle curiosity. These moments are what make the journey so special. They are unscripted, intimate encounters with nature in its purest form, and they leave you with a sense of connection that a view from a distance simply cannot match. Svalbard is a kingdom, and its undisputed monarch is the polar bear. To see one in its natural habitat is the ultimate ambition of any Arctic traveler. It is a moment that combines sheer thrill with a deep sense of reverence. I remember the call echoing through the ship. Polar bear spotted. Instantly, everyone rushed to the decks, binoculars pressed to their eyes, and there it was, a creamy white figure moving with patient, powerful strides across the sea ice. It was larger than I had ever imagined, a true giant of the north. We watched from a safe and respectful distance as it went about its business, a solitary hunter in a vast white world. It was a humbling and unforgettable sight, but the Arctic is home to so much more than its famous king. The waters and shores are teeming with a fascinating cast of characters, each perfectly adapted to this challenging environment. Seals are a constant and charming presence. You see them hauled out on ice floes, looking like plump, contented sausages basking in the endless sun. We encountered beautiful bearded seals, with their magnificent whiskers, and smaller ringed seals, the main prey of the polar bear. Their survival here is a testament to their resilience, and watching them navigate their icy world with such ease is a joy. They are a vital part of this fragile ecosystem. The waters also hold gentle giants. On one incredibly lucky afternoon we were visited by a pod of beluga whales. They are known as the canaries of the sea for their complex clicks and whistles. From the deck we saw their ghostly white bodies moving gracefully just below the surface. They were ethereal, almost magical, appearing and disappearing in the dark water. The excitement on board was electric. These animals are so special because they are uniquely Arctic. They are not creatures you can see in a zoo. Their existence is tied completely to this wild, cold place. Seeing them here, free and wild, feels like being let in on a wonderful secret. Even the smaller creatures are captivating. I became utterly fascinated by the Arctic fox, a creature of exquisite beauty. We spotted one trotting along a shoreline, its pure white summer coat a stark contrast against the dark tundra rocks. It moved with a delicate, almost dainty grace. And then there were the birds, especially the Arctic terns. These incredible birds are the champions of migration, flying from the Arctic to the Antarctic and back again each year. They are feisty and fearless, dive-bombing anything that comes too close to their nests. Every single animal from the mighty polar bear to the tiny tern plays a crucial role in this intricate web of life. One of the most liberating things about an expedition cruise is the beautiful absence of a fixed itinerary. In the Arctic, nature is the expedition leader, and we are simply its willing followers. The plan can, and often does, change in an instant. A route might be blocked by impenetrable sea ice, forcing the captain to chart a new course. A sudden storm might mean seeking shelter in a protected fjord you never planned to visit. This flexibility isn't a drawback. It is the very heart of the adventure. It means that every single journey is unique, shaped by the whims of the weather and the wild. This spirit of improvisation leads to the most wonderful surprises. I remember our expedition leader announcing over the ship's tannoy one afternoon, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are changing our plans. We have a report of a polar bear mother and cubs about 20 miles to the east. We are going to try our luck." A ripple of excitement went through the ship. The original plan to visit a particular glacier was forgotten in a heartbeat. This ability to react to the natural world as it unfolds is what makes expedition travel so thrilling. You are not just following a pre-planned route, you're actively participating in a search for wonder. This approach requires a certain mindset, a willingness to let go of control and embrace the unknown. You learn to trust the expertise of the captain and the expedition team, who have spent years reading the signs of the Arctic. They understand the ice, the currents, and the habits of the wildlife. Their decisions are always made with safety and the best possible experience in mind. This sense of being in capable hands allows you to relax completely and just enjoy the ride, knowing that whatever happens, it will be an adventure. It is a refreshing change from our meticulously planned lives back home. Ultimately, this unpredictability ensures that your experience is authentic. You are seeing the Arctic as it truly is, not as a packaged tourist destination. Some days are filled with dramatic wildlife sightings, while others are about quiet contemplation of a majestic landscape. You might spend an entire afternoon simply watching the light change on a mountain face or observing the patterns in the drifting ice. Each moment has its own value. This philosophy of going with the flow is perhaps the greatest lesson the Arctic teaches you, that the best plans are often the ones you never made. While the world outside is a raw and wild wilderness, life on board an expedition ship is an experience of surprising luxury and comfort. After a day spent out in the elements, bundled in layers and exhilarated by the cold air, returning to the ship feels like coming home to a warm and welcoming sanctuary. The contrast is just delicious. You can peel off your boots and waterproofs and step into a world of sophisticated design, gentle warmth, and impeccable service. This blend of rugged adventure and refined comfort is what makes modern expedition cruising so utterly brilliant. You get the thrill of exploration without sacrificing an ounce of comfort. The food, darlings, was simply divine. I had expected hearty, functional meals, but what we were treated to was world-class cuisine. Every meal was a culinary event, prepared by talented chefs who worked magic in their galleys. We enjoyed everything from beautifully presented multi-course dinners to casual lunches with spectacular views. The dining room itself was a masterpiece with vast panoramic windows ensuring that you never missed a moment of the passing scenery. To be savoring a perfectly cooked piece of fish while watching an iceberg drift by your window is an experience of pure, decadent joy. It felt impossibly glamorous. My cabin, or suite, was a haven of tranquility and style. It was far more spacious than I had imagined, with a wonderfully comfortable bed, a lovely seating area, and a private balcony that became my personal viewing platform. The design was elegant and understated, inspired by Scandinavian principles, with natural textures and a calming color palette. It was the perfect place to retreat to with a cup of tea and a good book, or to simply stand and watch the endless daylight paint the sky. Having this private space to relax and reflect in was a crucial part of the journey, a little pocket of peace amidst the grand adventure. Beyond the private suites, the ship itself was designed for both socializing and quiet contemplation. There were elegant lounges with plush sofas and well-stocked bars, a library filled with books about the polar regions, and expansive observation decks for 360-degree views. Amenities often include a sauna or a hot tub. Imagine sitting in bubbling hot water on the open deck as frozen landscapes glide past. Every detail is considered to make the experience as comfortable and enriching as possible. This floating boutique hotel ensures that your journey into the wild is as restorative as it is exhilarating. High in the mountains above Longyearbyen, carved deep into the permafrost, lies one of the most important buildings in the world, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. From the outside, it looks rather futuristic and mysterious, with a concrete wedge-shaped entrance jutting out of the snowy mountainside. This isn't a tourist attraction you can just pop into, and for good reason. It is a modern-day Noah's Ark, but for seeds. Its purpose is both simple and profound: to safeguard the future of the world's food supply. It is a backup, a fail-safe storage facility for the immense diversity of crops grown by humanity. The reason Svalbard was chosen for this crucial role is a testament to its unique environment. The location is geologically stable, remote, and incredibly cold. The permafrost, the permanently frozen ground, provides natural refrigeration, ensuring that the seeds remain viable even if the power supply were to fail. It's a natural freezer built to last for centuries. The vault is designed to withstand everything from earthquakes to nuclear war. It is a place of hope, a quiet promise that even in the face of global catastrophe, we will have the means to begin again, to regrow the crops that sustain us. Inside the vault, millions of seed samples from almost every country in the world are stored in carefully sealed packets on high-tech shelves. These seeds represent the genetic diversity of our planet's agriculture. This diversity is vital, as climate change affects growing conditions around the world, and as diseases threaten staple crops. This bank of genetic material could provide the key to developing new, more resilient plant varieties. It is a library of life, holding the stories and the potential of thousands of years of farming. Its existence is a quiet, powerful statement about global cooperation for the common good. Standing near the entrance to the vault, looking out over the starkly beautiful Arctic landscape, I felt a deep sense of awe. It is humbling to think that in this remote, icy wilderness, humanity has placed one of its greatest treasures. The vault represents foresight, collaboration, and a profound sense of responsibility to future generations. It is a symbol of hope, tucked away in the ice at the top of the world. Knowing it is there, silently and securely guarding our agricultural heritage, adds another layer of meaning to any visit to this extraordinary archipelago. It reminds you that Svalbard is not just a place of natural beauty, but also a guardian of our future. As our ship turned its bow south, leaving the high Arctic and Svalbard's icy crown behind, the landscape began to soften and change. The journey towards the Norwegian mainland was an adventure in itself, a gradual transition from a world of ice and rock to one of green, tundra, and dramatic coastlines. The air felt a little warmer, and the light, while still lingering long into the night, seemed to have a gentler quality. This part of the voyage was a wonderful opportunity to witness the incredible diversity of the North, a bridge between the polar desert and the more verdant landscapes of northern Norway. One of the absolute highlights of this leg of the journey was a bird safari. We took to the Zodiacs to visit a remote island that was home to a massive seabird colony. The air was thick with the sound of thousands of birds, and the sight was simply astonishing. We saw kittiwakes, guillemots, and razorbills nesting on impossibly narrow cliff ledges. But the stars of the show, for me, were the puffins. With their brightly colored beaks and slightly comical, earnest expressions, they are utterly charming. We watched them whirring through the air, their little wings beating furiously or standing in groups on grassy cliff tops. It was a joyful, chaotic, and vibrant spectacle of life. Upon reaching the mainland, we were greeted by yet another iconic northern creature, the reindeer. Unlike the Svalbard reindeer, which are a smaller, stockier subspecies, these mainland animals were larger and roamed in herds across the rolling green coastal hills. We saw them grazing peacefully, their magnificent antlers silhouetted against the sky. Seeing them in this greener, more lush environment was a lovely contrast to the stark white world we had just left. It felt as though we were slowly re-entering a gentler world, one where plant life was more abundant and the colors were warmer and richer. This journey along the coast of northern Norway is breathtaking. The coastline is a magnificent fretwork of fjords, islands, and towering mountains that plunge directly into the sea. Small, colorful fishing villages huddle in sheltered coves, adding a touch of human warmth to the immense scale of the landscape. The further south we traveled, the more trees we began to see, first as small, hardy birches, and then as thicker forests. It was like watching the world come back to life in slow motion. This coastal voyage is a perfect complement to the starkness of Svalbard, showcasing the full, glorious spectrum of the northern wilderness. When one thinks of a summer holiday, the mind usually wanders to sandy beaches, warm sunshine, and sipping cool drinks by a pool. My journey to the Arctic turned that notion completely on its head. I discovered that there is a unique and profound pleasure in heading towards the cold, when everyone else is seeking the heat. A cold summer holiday is not about escaping the sun, but about experiencing it in a totally different way. It's about swapping humidity for crisp, clean air, and trading crowds for wide-open silent spaces. It is invigorating, refreshing, and deeply restorative for the soul. There is a certain clarity that comes with being in a cold environment. Your senses feel sharper, more alive. The air is so pure, it feels like a tonic, and the silence is so deep, you can almost hear your own heartbeat. Instead of feeling lethargic from the heat, you feel energized and alert. You wear layers not for fashion, but for function. And there's a simple satisfaction in being properly bundled up against the elements. A cold weather trip is an active one. You are not passively sunbathing, but actively exploring, walking, and engaging with a powerful and dramatic landscape. A trip to the Arctic in summer also offers a genuine escape. It is a release from the relentless pace of modern life. The lack of constant connectivity, the vastness of the scenery, and the sheer remoteness of the location force you to slow down and be present in the moment. You find your daily worries and stresses simply melt away, seeming so small and insignificant in the face of a 1,000-year-old glacier. It is a mental reset, a chance to clear your head and gain a fresh perspective. You return home not just with a tan, but with a renewed sense of calm and clarity. So, while a traditional summer holiday certainly has its charms, I urge you to consider the alternative. Think about the thrill of seeing your breath in the cool summer air, the beauty of a sun that never sets, and the deep peace of a world painted in shades of blue and white. It is an experience that challenges your expectations and rewards you with memories of profound beauty and true adventure. A cold summer holiday doesn't just cool you down, it awakens something deep within you. It is a holiday for the body, the mind, and the spirit. My travels have taken me to many corners of this beautiful world, but Norway holds a particularly special place in my heart. Having experienced its wonders in both the depths of winter and the endless light of summer, I can tell you that it is a country of breathtaking beauty, no matter the season. My winter journey in search of the northern lights was a quest for magic in the darkness, a world of snow-hushed landscapes and ethereal green ribbons dancing in the night sky. It was a fairy tale of cozy fires, starry nights, and the profound silence of a world asleep under a blanket of white. Then came summer, and the country revealed an entirely different personality. The darkness was replaced by perpetual light, and the snow gave way to vibrant greens and the brilliant blue of the fjords. The silence of winter was replaced by the chorus of seabirds and the gentle sound of melting ice. The midnight sun in the north and the long, golden evenings in the south create a sense of boundless energy and life. It is a season for hiking in the mountains, for sailing the coast, and for celebrating the explosive, if brief, return of warmth and color to the landscape. Norway in summer is a country that is wide awake and bursting with life. To be asked which season I prefer is like being asked to choose a favorite child. It is an impossible question because each offers a completely unique and equally magnificent experience. Winter is dramatic, mysterious, and deeply romantic. It speaks to the soul's desire for introspection and wonder. Summer is joyous, energetic, and glorious. It speaks to the soul's desire for adventure and exploration. They are two sides of the same beautiful coin, each complementing the other and showcasing the incredible versatility and resilience of this land and its people. Norway doesn't have a best season, it simply has different kinds of magic. And so my advice to you is simple: just go. Go in winter to chase the aurora and witness the silent beauty of the snow. Go in summer to sail under the midnight sun and marvel at the green fjords. Go whenever you can. Norway is a destination that will capture your imagination and steal your heart, regardless of the date on the calendar. It is a country that invites you to connect with nature in its most powerful and pristine form. My love affair with Norway is a story written in both snow and sunlight, and I wholeheartedly recommend that you go and write your own chapter.